Continuation of this chapter. Christmas Crisis. Linda and I understand that sharing is a two-way street. And if we want Vic to embrace our ideals and standards, then we have to at least try his. So we attempted to delve deeper into the culture and the practices that so fascinated Vic. I took to reading books about Hindu religion and history. Linda and I also attempted to cook like a Krishna. We bought a Krishna cookbook and gave it a shot. We, of course, were somewhat unfamiliar with Indian ingredients and techniques, so many of our attempts produced less than satisfactory results. Making ghee was easy enough and probably our only real success. My samosas never seemed to survive the deep frying intact. I'm used to using egg wash to hold pastry together. It's now a forbidden practice. And my bread is never thin enough. It comes out like pizza dough that's been burned on the outside. When I make a broccoli pakora, which is similar to tempura if you substitute chickpea flour for the wheat flour and switch the spice palette. We couldn't find chickpea flour, but did find dried garbanzo beans, which are chickpeas. I use a mortar and pestle to grind them into flour. At least we tried. I wrote to Vic about our adventures, to which he replied, "I was really inspired by a letter you guys sent me after cooking that recipe from the cookbook you bought me. You had me in stitches with your description of your transcendental cooking extravaganza. I wish I was as determined to serve Krishna as you guys are. Homemade chickpea flour, I'm blown away." I was so stoked that I've been planning ever since how I can get you to do the same thing again, but this time be part of the experience. So it appears that my schemes are finally bearing fruit, or vegetables. So please offer the meal to Krishna again with tender loving care. You can use the metal plates I kept in the bottom of the cupboard by the sink. Those are specifically his. Christmas was coming soon, and so was Vic. We were excited and made lots of plans and exciting things to do, so that Christmas would feel good like it used to. We needed big plans for Christmas Eve because just a week earlier is the anniversary of my father-in-law's death. True, after so many years the memory has faded somewhat and the pain was duller, so we coped with by overcompensating. Christmas had to be the most joyous occasion of every year. The Eastview, the development we lived in, is a planned community. In our community, the exterior of homes were technically common grounds, and the board was staunch in preventing decorations outside the house. To us, undecorated means on Christmas, so we decided to take a trip to the local shopping mall, which was seriously decked out. Vic arrived, and on Christmas Eve we cooked for Krishna together. We observed the prohibition against tasting work in progress and the absence of music as part of the ceremonial requirements for properly preparing prasadam. Despite these restrictions, we enjoyed ourselves as a little family unit for a few hours. We presented the food to Krishna's picture and let him eat in peace, while we went to the mall to experience the lights. Vic was dressed in saffron robes and sandals. His head was freshly shaved. We could feel a sea of eyeballs staring at him as we strolled the hallowed mall halls of Christmas excess. Directly ahead of us was the center of the mall and Santa Claus with his little helpers. The little children lined up by the dozens, waiting their chance to whisper their dreams into Santa's willing ear. Then Vic snapped. He wouldn't go any further. This was surely the belly of the beast. He cast his eyes downward and asked if it was okay to return to the car and wait for us there. We were free to continue to experience the bliss of the season, but he wanted out. We left together and returned home to eat our meal in virtual silence. The only conversation was mechanical. Vic excused himself and went to bed. By 8 p.m., the glories of Christmas had long evaporated. It's too late, Linda says. He's so messed up. Christmas is messed up. Everything's a mess. Will he ever be normal again? I disagree. I postulate that what we saw was just an overload, too much too quickly. Linda insists that no hope remains. From her voice, it's clear that no hope remains in her heart. We go to the family room and turn on the TV to watch A Christmas Carol, our tradition. After a few minutes, I turn my attention from the TV to Linda's face. She appears to be staring in the direction of the TV rather than looking at it. Her eyes are unmoving, pointed straight ahead. Her lips are pressed together, not tightly as in pain, but resolutely as if on trial. A single tear takes form in her eye near her nose. It lingers expectantly until finally she blinks once and escapes down her cheek. She does not acknowledge it, does not wipe it, does not change her expression. I take her hand in mine, a small comfort.